My name is Jonathan Jones, and today is April the 26th, 2026. Look at that, 4/26/26. And it's a little bit after 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And it's my pleasure and my privilege to be your host and moderator for this evening's presentation. Someone invited you here to this presentation because they cared a lot about you, and they thought that the subject matter might be of value to you. And after you're done hearing the presentation, I believe you're going to wish that that's others that you know had been able to hear the presentation. But have no fear, it is being recorded, so you can get access to it. And even now, someone can join us on YouTube, where it's being live streamed. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/Jonathan Jones. And one of the co-hosts may be able to put that in the chat so you can get access to it. Just go to the live section, and then you'll be able to copy and paste the link and share that with anyone else that you would like. But we're talking about stress. The government declares almost every month something having to do with national awareness. There's all sorts of things that are put out there. We identify the health-related topics because it gives us an opportunity to spotlight the benefits of micronutrients, because some brilliant person decided to take the food out of food. So we're not talking about any kind of medicines or treatments for disease, but we're talking about the food that's been taken from our food. So, and specifically gives us an opportunity to identify how Dr. Prasad's unique formulas have a huge impact on our health and well-being, and to spotlight exactly how and why it's significant. So it's no fluke that when you take his product and his formulas, that it makes a difference for you. And many people have been claiming that their lives are better because of taking Dr. Prasad's formula. So we're excited to pass this on. And I simply will not stop sharing this kind of information with people. If you're wondering who and what I am, I'm really just a nobody, except I do a lot of research. I'm the research director for the Healthcare Support Association of America. It's a nonprofit organization, 501c3. I'm also a legacy affiliate with Engage Global. So I do have an interest in the products, Dr. Prasad's formulas as well. But the information is no less valid, and I believe that you'll find out that it's valuable to you as well. So we're going to go ahead and get ourselves started. You notice that the theme has kind of been altered a little bit because it more specifically identifies exactly the nature of our discussion, the cellular shield. Cellular shield. See, stress is attacking our cells. And Dr. Prasad's formulas, as you will see, basically act as a shield to our cells. And it gives you an opportunity to reclaim health in an age of chronic stress. Chronic stress. And that's real. That's not a hyperbole. I was just talking with my wife about this a little bit earlier. And she said she was shocked to see that the percentage of people under chronic stress is as low as it is. But you may say to yourself, I can't believe it's as high as it is. And you'll see that in just a moment. Well, before we go to that next slide, I have to just let everybody know that the FDA does not evaluate the statements. You're going to be hearing testimonials. They're purely anecdotal. Results are atypical. That means that what happens to one person may or may not happen to you. Neither the Healthcare Support Association of America, Engage Global, Dr. Prasad, Jonathan Jones, nor any of the authorized representatives are making claims that any of the supplements recommended will treat or cure any disease state. Only the government can declare a nutritional supplement to be a treatment for a disease. This presentation is for information and educational purposes only. It's not intended to be a substitute for a visit to your doctor. We recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. And we're real serious about that too, by the way. So talk with your doctor. And if your doctor tells you something other than what you're hearing from hard science, then you might want to make sure that you get yourself a second opinion. And that's no joke. That's for real. And we got stories that we can share with you about that, but that's another day. So let's talk about chronic stress. It is systemic. It is a national epidemic, as this slide indicates. And again, that's not hyperbole. These are the latest statistics and the latest research that's being presented. Right now, 75% of US adults experience chronic stress every single day. 83% of US workers report significant, debilitating work-related stress. The impact is some $300 billion per year. That's the annual cost of the United States economy in lost productivity and health issues, all due to stress. And this is the one where Joanna said she was surprised to see that it was only 75% of US adults experience chronic stress today, 75%. But that's quite a bit if you think about it. The fact that there's 330 million people in this country right now. So that would mean that somewhere in the area of 200 million people are experiencing chronic stress. That's quite a lot of folks that are dealing with stress. And the reason it matters is because of what it does to the body. And Dr. Prasad will tell us a lot more about this. I'm just going to flip through this real quick. And if he wants to come back to some of these subjects, and we certainly will do that. But you can kind of see in this one slide, on the left slide, that's the normal baseline representation as to the way our bodies respond to stress. You get a burst of adrenaline, a burst of cortisol, and that puts the body in a state where it can respond if there's something stressful coming at you. If I see a snake and it's heading my way, that's stress. If I see some animal that's foaming at the mouth and is heading my way, that's stress. That puts my leg, my feet, my whole body in motion. I'm going the other way, or I'm preparing to fight. One of us is going to feel the pain. But on the right side of the screen, chronic stress, which is a modern reality, as you can see from the slide, that's very different. You see on the left side, it spikes and comes back down to normal. Spikes and comes back down to normal. But under chronic stress, we're elevated where these cortisol levels, adrenaline levels may be at an elevated level. The result of that is zero recovery time leading to systemic physiological breakdown. Those are problems. It has an impact on the brain, has an impact on the heart, has an impact on the immune system. It creates a vicious cycle. Elevated cortisol causes muscles to break down, insulin resistance, visceral fat storage. That belly fat that we talk about pinching an inch around our waistline, that's no joke. That's not cute in any way, shape, or form. Visceral fat is the most dangerous kind of fat that we could have. And all of that just feeds into itself, cortisol. And you notice what the title of this slide here, the biochemical loop behind cortisol belly. And again, I'm really hoping Dr. Prasad will have additional comments on this. Chronic stress causes a cascade of free radical damage to the cells. And then that leads to a whole nother series of problems where glutathione levels just drop. Glutathione levels is the body's master antioxidant system. And if they're drained and on reserve, we got a problem. There's a serious problem that comes with that. But let's introduce Dr. Prasad into our discussion now, because I believe that he will have a whole lot more that he can share with us, on the impact of stress. Dr. Prasad usually likes to get to the bottom line and tell us exactly how we can ameliorate the issue. But if he could tell us a little bit more about that, then we'll see. We'll see what Dr. Prasad would like to share with us. But this gentleman was the world's first radiation biology PhD and has been the author of more than 30 books. I think he's up around 35 or 36 books by now. He's still writing. He's in his 90s, and he's still cranking out work. He's been published more than 350 times. In fact, he just recently submitted a publication with 2 observational studies from individuals that have been associated with this channel over the past few years. One woman who had melanoma on her foot, they were talking about amputating it. Dr. Prasad has published that now, and it's out there for the public to see. And the other gentleman who had a crater in his face from basal cell carcinoma, and it reversed because of his formulas, then that is now published in an observational study. So Dr. Prasad just will not stop. He will not rest. This is a scientist at a whole different level. And I have to put that in there so that you understand and you're motivated to hear what Dr. Prasad has to say. On one of our presentations, he stated, true stress management requires more than lifestyle changes. It demands scientifically validated micronutrients to actively reduce inflammation neutralize oxidative stress and repair cellular damage from the inside out. So we're going to take a minute or two now and welcome Dr. Prasad into our discussion. We are just excited to have you here with us, Dr. Prasad. Thank you so much for joining us as you're able to do so on Sundays.
Thank you, Jonathan. And I always enjoy to be with you and my engaged family. And if I can answer any question they have, I will be glad to do it. And if I can't,
Fantastic.
I can go ahead and research on that, and then next time I can answer that.
Yeah. Yes. We have seen that to be true
As you
all the way around.
age, your body always increase oxidative stress and inflammation. You know that. Several things happens. On the top of that, suppose, like Jonathan mentioned, you have a acute the problem or chronic problem. And the main reason for this is, like you mentioned, Jonathan, is production of cortisol, which makes you very, very stressful. So anxiety, depression, all these things are associated. But don't forget, your body is already suffering from acute. So when you worry about relationship, worry about finance, worry about losing the job, that further aggravate. And that kind of thing, acute or chronic, they will produce cortisol, which will further enhance the damage produced on the cell by increased oxidative stress and inflammation. You have not, if you have not taken care beforehand. But suppose if you have a healthy uh, cell in your body, because you have been taking, say, micro daily core 4, and your is very good. But still, you will develop anxiety because that is beyond this kind of issue. But the impact of, say, cortisol produced, impact of that on your body would be much less. And then, if you have chronic stress, then we have some other ingredient that can further reduce it. For example, we have a CBD. CBD can decrease all kind of stress, because the stress is caused because your brain has a reduced level of serotonin, you have reduced level of dopamine, and increased level of glutamate. These three are happening all simultaneously. So how you take care of that? Well, one of the ways is this CBD. Currently, if you are suffering from a stress or a depression, the FDA-approved drug is like uh, what is called a
Like
serotonin
tranquilizers?
inhibitor. Yeah, Zoloft, you know, and Zoloft is also a very popular one, and
Yeah.
right, and they act as a serotonin reuptake inhibitor, because if it is allowed to reuptake, serotonin will be destroyed. That will aggravate more. But it has toxicity. But CBD does exactly the same thing. It also acts as an inhibitor of serotonin. So serotonin level in your brain is high. It does more. It also increases the formation of new serotonin, because it enhances the enzyme. And so it does much more than any currently used medication that used for depression and anxiety. And so this is very important. So that the CBD also increases, it stimulates the D2 receptor of dopamine neuron. And if you stimulate it, dopamine will be formed. And if dopamine
Mm.
is formed, you will feel happy. Glutamate, which is causing all kind of hyperactivity and anxiety and so on, they also get decreased. So you have a three function of
Wow.
that no other drug, in my mind, can have that kind of things. And that's
All from CBD, all those different components, all those benefits, all just from CBD.
CBD does. That's amazing. And it has no toxicity. FDA has approved to use CBD in children with some kind of a disorders up to 750 milligrams.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And so it is, when I take about 100 milligram every day. Some people can take 200. I don't have anxiety, depression, but some people,
Right.
despite you are taking it,
I know. I take it. I take it
core
every
four,
day, Dr.
suppose if
Prasad.
you are
No
taking
question
core
about it.
four, yeah, if suppose your cells are healthy in the body, but nevertheless, suppose your job is threatened, or you are not happy with your girlfriend or boyfriend, that can create acute stress. That can be also relieved. You can feel less damage to your body.
Mm-hmm,
And,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and also, one of the product, I think it is energy drink or some in other places, sleeping boost, that they have a herb called ashwagandha. And ashwagandha is Ayurvedic
Yes,
medicine, and it is
yes.
non-toxic, and it prevents the release of cortisol that Jonathan was talking about it. Because when you have a stress, cortisol is released, and they maintain all kind of damaging effect. And so you can see that we have ingredient, depending upon how you feel, when you feel it, you can access this. But if you are not, you are healthy and you don't have a stress, then you don't have to take it. And uh, and once you get released, that you can extra one, you can say, I don't need anymore, I am happy. But core four is the central issue you must have all the time if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, core four, for example, at least two, you must have a good health. One is the micro daily EMF, another is probiotics with prebiotics that we have. And then this way you maintain a very good health, good quality of life, and reduce risk of chronic health problems.
So, Dr. Prasad, can we just touch on that a little bit because folks sometimes don't quite connect all the dots, when it comes to exactly the damage that's being done to them. I've actually had people say, Dr. Prasad, well, um, I didn't see what Microdaily was doing for me. This one picture, this one slide, would you mind commenting on this one slide
Sure,
here?
sure.
As far as the impact that free radicals and oxidative stress have on the cell. And let me put this one up here because this is the cell being basically bombarded
Yeah,
by
it is because
stress.
chronic stress not only initiated, but most of the people who have this, except children or young, teenager, they have a different mechanism there. But yeah, people who are growing older, they already have those places already damaged by free radicals. But on the top of that, if you have chronic stress, they can also see anytime when you get cell damage, then if they not repair, chronic inflammation sets in motion. So if these kind of chronic states, suppose, have this cortisol and they damage the cells, forget about free radical. They also damage the cell. Cell damage can occur membrane level, could occur DNA level. And so it is mitochondrial function can be impaired, cell membrane can damage. All part of these cells are sensitive to inflammation and free radicals. And chronic stress can produce chronic inflammation because the
Hmm.
damage they produce, cell cannot repair it. If they cannot repair it, they started producing a lot of inflammation. This is very
Okay.
important distinction to remember that if cell is fully recovered, then they can produce inflammation. So suppose if free radical can damage it, but if damage is repaired, then there is no inflammation.
Ah,
And inflammation can occur also if somebody is infection. If you have a viral or bacterial infection, then you don't require the free radicals induced damage. Then it can directly activate. But most of the disease that we see in human is not caused by virus or bacteria. It is caused by chronic inflammation, which is produced
chronic
by,
inflammation.
you see the difference between a repair, if the cell, by any means, if the cell can repair damage fully, not 90% fully, there is no inflammation. But
That's
see
it.
what happens? In our body, free radicals are produced so much, the cell gets damaged, it cannot get repaired, and chronic inflammation sets in motion. Now,
Yes.
both together are more damaging than individual.
Yes. 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 Okay, understood.
And
And I
they
think
can
I'm
damage, again, this when you say cell damage, they can damage all parts of the cell, from the membrane, DNA, depending upon the extent of these things.
mhm.
And despite of that, some cell will repair and other don't.
And if this cell, if the cell membrane is damaged and that happens to be connected to, say, some nerves, then that could cause things like Lou Gehrig's disease or any other kind of disease,
Yeah,
right? If
it's
the membrane,
neurological disease because if the membrane gets damaged, the neuron cannot communicate with one another. That creates a lot of problem.
and then if mitochondria is damaged, that just manifests itself as disease, right?
Yeah. For example, mitochondria if is one of the very critical issue. It is more important than DNA for a disease purpose. Because DNA damage occurs, the cell will dead. But mitochondrial damage occurs, cell is still alive. But their mitochondrial damage will produce low energy. And low energy means we will have a chronic illness. And in the end, the Alzheimer disease has been linked to reduced production of energy by the mitochondria.
That's interesting. Let me ask you this then, Dr. Prasad. If the DNA does get damaged, either the cell dies or what if the cell continues and you've got damaged
Yeah,
DNA?
that if DNA damage, that means there is a mutation.
It's a
Oh,
mutation now.
a mutation, and that mutation can cause, most likely, will cause cancer, increased risk of cancer.
Okay.
That's very important.
Okay.
And and
And I
and
think that,
yeah, and
go ahead.
because at the end, mostly cancer is the one. Otherwise, other diseases can be damaged by mitochondria, can be damaged by membrane and so on. But DNA damage when occurs, that means cell has become mutated, and mutated cell is at very high risk for developing cancer.
Okay. So I really want to just folks to just linger on that for just a second. Free radicals can lead to all kinds of diseases.
Yeah,
If you a damage to the mitochondria, you may feel fatigue, but if free radicals can make their way in and damage the DNA, that can lead to cancers.
yeah,
That can lead to cancers. All of this because of free radicals, and all of that because of high levels of cortisol, all of that because we live in a life of chronic stress.
yeah.
So the immune system becomes compromised.
Chronic stress is one of the most dangerous thing you can have. But see, many people who gets it don't realize it that and they don't have access to the information that we have, and
Right,
therefore they suffer. And so
right.
our job here is to identify those people, talk to them, and say, here are potential solution is in nutrition. It helps your body to recover.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Now, for the sake of some folks who are a little bit more sciencey, glutathione is the body's master antioxidant. Dr. Prasad put into his formula elements that raise glutathione and recirculate glutathione along with other exogenous antioxidants. That's antioxidants that your body doesn't make. But the glutathione is the one that the body actually makes with tons of chronic stress, cortisol, and free radicals. Those reserves get used up. That's when we become immunocompromised. That's when the bad guys can overrun the cells. So stress is a major contributor to disease. And there's a scientific reason for the whole thing happening. So, Dr. Prasad, we talked about, I gave this a brand new name because I was targeting specifically the elements in your formulas that focus on stress. I call it the Core 4 stress protocol.
Hmm.
But Micro Daily here, Micro Daily, one of the things it does is rejuvenate or reload the body with glutathione. And you've got NAC that does that, alpha lipoic acid, and something else you've got in there that
You
does that,
know,
right?
to rejuvenate or to increase the glutathione level, we have a strategized two way. One is alpha lipoic acid, which increases the synthesis already existing in a cell glutathione. And then we added it N-acetylcysteine. The
Yes,
N-acetylcysteine, if you take it, is absorbed quickly, and acetyl gets chopped off, and cysteine is used as a substrate to making a new glutathione. So the combination will be elevating the glutathione much more than just the naturally alpha lipoic acid.
that's
And
it. That's it.
glutathione, like you mentioned, glutathione is the highest level of antioxidant present in your body. It is, in a technical term, it's called millimolar level. No other vitamin has as much in the cell, in the of cell as glutathione per cell.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So this really is the foundation. That's the reason why you have Micro Daily as the foundation of everything. It's the
Yeah,
beginning of it. And then we add to that what you said about CBD. Then here's one that you
yeah,
did talk about, Dr. Prasad. Tell us how Brain Boost could have an effect on stress.
yeah. Brain boost is very important. See, brain boost has ingredient, for example, which improves the circulation, which is increased. I think it is I've developed so many
I
formulas,
know.
forget. But anyway, it has an ingredient, herbs, which increases the nitric oxide in your body. And nitric oxide causes vasodilation. In other words, your blood vessel gets increased, and therefore your blood flow through all your organs would be uniform very nicely. And so this is one of the very useful thing and brain boost is also important because membrane gets damaged, say for example, very easily, very sensitive to free radical damage, and we have added a two precursor of a membrane. One is phosphodietyl one is phosphodietyl isn't it? And also this
Yes.
is very
Uh-huh.
important. And we have added some additional substrate to increase the function of the mitochondrial function, like coenzyme Q10 and vitamin B3.
And
And we have
resveratrol.
also added some more powerful antioxidant like resveratrol and curcumin.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 You just now. I
So
just went to look at
that
the
is very,
ingredients. You
very
just called
important.
all of them off the top of your head. That's powerful. Okay, so that was the other one, and the other one you already mentioned also the sleep boost.
Yeah,
So
sleep
what?
boost has ashwagandha, I think. And sleep boost is very important because you want to have a good sleep. And they also have CBD boost. I take every day before sleeping, and plus some other ingredient have in sleeping boost. I think if you take a sleeping boost and like I do, and take a two uh, capsule of a CBD,
Yep.
I become I slept like as you know, older
Oh
people
yeah.
like me one of the major problem of people of my age, the poor sleep.
That's right.
But despite of the fact that I had a fall and hospitalization and so on and so forth, I sleep extremely well.
That's good. We're so grateful for that. So, Dr. Prasad, these are the four elements here. Now, the only one
Yeah,
that's not mentioned here is the probiotic boost. So there's really five
yeah.
that are critical when it
It
comes
is
to
very
managing
important
stress.
especially
Yeah.
for reducing the stress. Another thing in this thing I would have preferred is the probiotics.
Yeah, the probiotic is the one that's missing
Of course,
from
four.
this list.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I just call this the core four stress protocol, but it really should be the core five stress protocol,
Right, right, right,
and
right,
and
right.
add the probiotic boost to this. So I'm going to redo this slide if we ever do this again and make sure that the probiotic boost is on there and change that to the core five stress protocol.
Yeah,
So this is pretty powerful, Dr. Prasad, and we have a couple testimonials that we maybe want to try to share here so folks
sure.
can understand
That,
that these formulas is no joke. You know, this is serious, and it really does make a difference in people's lives. Before I play a couple of recordings here, I'm going to just ask: is there anyone here right now that's
hmm?
been taking the CBD boost and have found that it's helped them with stress or with
Yeah.
anxiety? So let's see if we got a live person here now. I got two or three different recordings to share. But if there's somebody here right now that's taking CBD boost and have found that it has had a dramatic impact on your stress, anxiety, or otherwise, feel free to share that now while I'm queuing up this other one. Tammy Shelby wants to share her story. So Tammy, are you going to come on live on camera, or are you going to just go ahead and just unmute?
I'm coming live.
Okay, you're
Hi.
coming. Your hand went
Yes.
down, so now I can't find you. So let's
Oh,
find Tammy. Oh, that's okay. I see. I got you now.
okay.
I'm just adding you onto our screen here. Okay, so go ahead. Go ahead, Tammy. Tell us your story.
Hi, Dr. Prasad. Hi, Jonathan. I had carpal tunnel surgery on both my hands, and afterwards they had prescribed me gabapentin as well as Cymbalta. He felt that normally I'm an outgoing person, but having to be stuck in my house was causing me a little bit of anxiety. And so they thought this would be a good combination to help with pain, but also ease anxiety and help me sleep. I tell you, I felt like I had a mask on with that medication. And so when I learned about the CBD, I asked my doctor, can I be weaned off of the Cymbalta and the gabapentin? He gave me a regimen. I told him what I was taking and was planning to take. And he said, well, just let me know how it does and just keep good notes. And I did that. And I have to say that when I came off of that medication and was taking the CBD, I began taking the CBD as I was weaning myself off the other medication. And once I was off of that, I mean, I've been fine. I'm back to my normal happy-go-lucky self, very encouraging. Because with that medication, my girlfriend's dog died. And my comment was, just get another dog. And that is not my personality. So I knew something, the medication was doing something. But with the CBD, I'm encouraging, I'm chipper, I'm happy, and back to my old self. So thank you, Dr. Prasad. I
Thank you.
love the
Thank you.
CBD.
I'm so happy to hear this story because you never know what you think science suggests, but actually is it true for a human?
Yes, yes. So thank you.
The
Thank
other
you.
side, she said when she was on the pharmaceutical, she told her friend, just get another dog. He had no empathy, no compassion
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I know, no compassion, no filter, just, and I knew something
Get
was
another
wrong. And
dog.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
it is so well known, uniqueness of this, that, as I said, is the FDA approved for the children who
Mhm.
had
For
a,
children,
yeah, the
for
disease.
epilepsy. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's powerful. Thank you very much, Tammy.
you're
That's
welcome.
a great story.
How much you are taking?
When I began, I started out with just following the directions, one in the morning, one in the evening. As I noticed when I entered in certain situations, especially once I was back out in public, I was nervous if someone would try to shake my hand. So that was a different type of anxiety. So I thought, when I go out for the day and I'm out in my public ministry, I need to take two. And it really helped calm down anyone approaching me or wanting to shake my hand or anything like that. So it really helped. But now I'm back down to just one in the morning, one in the evenings, and I'm good to go.
Yeah, I myself, I don't have a pain, but just for the preventive, because at this age I could develop all kind of problem.
Yes.
So I take two in the morning, two in the evening. I used to take only one in the evening, two in the evening once. But now I take, I don't have any body pain. I have some injury that takes time to recover. But otherwise, I'm having fun.
Excellent.
That's powerful. Thank you again, Tammy. We got Lula Jester, so that's one more that we've got here. Lula, you're able to come on camera. If not, it's okay. We'll take you however we can get you.
Oh, okay, thank you. I just want to say that I think the CBD is one of the greatest products that has been invented. I strongly encourage it to people who are having a long, stressful day. I have found that we don't last a month in here in this house without it. So that's a to-go order every month. And especially for my grandkids, I have one 8-year-old, and sometimes she'll fight against it. She says, "Oh no, I don't want to go to sleep." And so it relaxed her. I even asked her one day, I said, "Well, do you feel relaxed?" She said no, but she was sitting comfortably on the sofa, relaxed, without knowing that she was relaxed. And so I just think it's an excellent product. I did a lot of investigation on the CBD, and I found that the ones with the THC, which different ones want to try anyway, with very bad results. So staying on this natural product, the way it's formulated, I think Dr. Prasad has a winner, and and I just love the product. So I want to thank him for this.
Thank you very much.
That's wonderful, Lula. Thank you very much. So,
Okay.
and just so you know, yeah, she said that she was giving it to her granddaughter. So for the audience in general, remember what Dr. Prasad just said. He said it now 3 times. The FDA has approved up to 750 milligrams for children. Okay, 750 milligrams. 750 milligrams is half the bottle. So a child can take half the bottle for a day for epilepsy, and that's FDA approved. So for her to give her grandchild one capsule to calm the child down so it could go to sleep at night, that's beyond safe. So
no side effect.
No side effects, as harmless as can be. So that kind of should help at least folks to put it in perspective there a little bit. So Dr. Prasad, I'm going to just play one of the testimonials that I wanted to share. So, and this is an extreme case. You've heard this one before, but it's an extreme case. And I think people need to just kind of know that this exists because she was a young person and she had all kinds of problems, including PTSD, agoraphobia, and all kinds of other things. We got one more testimonial we wanted to share with you.
Sure. Here is Shannon. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Prasad and Jonathan. I wanted to say that, a lot of times people feel like, young people don't go through a lot, but I did. In my early 20s, I used to have severe pain, and I almost lost one of my 2 children, or they wanted to deliver her like 5 months early because I was in so much pain, but didn't know why I was in a lot of pain. And I was diagnosed with severe endometriosis. I had chronic pain day in, day out, and not natural bleeding that women go through. And I was also diagnosed with osteoarthritis. I had it really bad in my neck and my spine, and it crippled me. I was feeling like I've been electrocuted. Shocks just would go down my neck and back, and I couldn't move. And it would come out of nowhere at any given time, no matter where I was at. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had those, oh my God, from head to toe, I was in pain. Rheumatoid arthritis, and I developed PTSD. When I used to live in Houston, Texas, I was coming home one day from work and like they got kidnapped, human trafficking. And from there, I developed what Freddie mentioned, agoraphobia, a fear or a form of anxiety. I didn't want to leave my home because I was afraid of that happening again. And I was placed on several different medications for anxiety, depression, insomnia, because I couldn't sleep. Like Freddie, just thoughts just running through my mind, fear, worries, day in and day out. And I just needed help. And I was telling my whole family, I have a large family, seven sisters and 5 brothers. And my brother Alex and the rest of my family was encouraging me to continue to pray and try to look for things, and they would be looking for things. And I never forgot the scripture that I read. In fact, I read it this morning, 1 John 5:14 and 15. It tells us, if you ask Almighty God, whatever you ask him, he hears you. And if your prayers are in harmony with his will, he will answer you. And so I continued to pray and ask for help, because I was in the bed all the time, constantly in a lot of pain and hurting. And I just didn't have quality of life. And I was young, and in my 20s on up until now, I had continued to hurt. And so finally, when my brother discovered Dr. Prasad's products, he told me about it. I got on them. And I tell you, they work. When I got on the CBD, because I read what it's for anxiety, it's for insomnia, pain, depression. And those are things that I had, and I needed that. And so when I got on them, that's what I felt gave me my life back, because even today, I haven't even taken none of my products, including my CBD. And wow. Normally when it rains, because it's been raining all here all day today, either the day before, I start hurting so bad, head to toe, but no pain. And it's raining outside, no pain. Oh my God, I just was so happy that wow. I'm not hurting head to toe. And I tell anybody, these products are the real deal. They really work. And Dr. Prasad, I just wanted to tell you, there's some words to a song that say, if you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because I'm looking at you. The world is looking at you, Dr. Prasad, and you are beautiful to us. We thank you for all the products, because they really, really help. I went through so much in my life, losing a lot of family members. I lost my husband, my parents, and 3 of my siblings, several of them due to cancer. And that took me for a loop. And I tell you one thing, being on the CBD and increasing it and all, it helped me, because I've been driving since I was 15 years old. And I was not, the last 8-9 years, I haven't been able to go outside and get in my car and drive my own car. And just last week, I went to get in my car. My brother came and gave me a jump, because I don't go many places. And he gave me a jump. He said, come on, let's go around the block. And normally if I drive out of, the neighborhood I live in, that's when my anxiety come on. And it's so bad. It makes like I'm about to have a heart attack, and I go to shaking and sweating and going on. But I noticed that didn't happen. I drove out of my neighborhood, drove several blocks down the street, and I just tears just swelled up in my eyes, because I realized that this CBD is really working for me, and I might get my life back and be able to drive and be independent. You don't know how it feels to be independent and be able to get in your car and go wherever you want to go and not have, that hindrance, and to be able to get out your bed and want to be around people. I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to stay in my house, perfectly happy staying in my house. But if I had to go anywhere, I had anxiety attack because of having to go outside of my house. But I noticed it's getting so much better. and I'm starting to have better quality of life. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Prasad, and I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Prasad.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
That should touch your heart again and just ignite you all over.
I mean, if she tells the story to other people, nobody will believe it.
No,
I believe it
no,
because she's telling it. But I'm saying it that, not like that, but you tell this story that I have been suffering. Ah, no, come on, no, it's not true.
that's right. That's right. Well, we know that it is true, and we're doing our best, Dr. Prasad, to get the word out because folks need to know what your formulas can do.
Yeah,
And these are people who have had real problems. This is not just, it's something that's just taking place and it's just a placebo. These are real problems and lives have changed because of your formulas and the knowledge that you've given us. So we corrected the slide, Dr. Prasad, so we now have it right. So if anyone wants to take a picture or take a screenshot of this one, this is the Core 5 stress protocol.
yeah.
So it includes the microdaily EMF, the brain boost, the probiotic daily, the CBD boost, and the sleep boost. So
Yeah.
these are the items that Dr. Prasad recommends for stress. If you want to manage,
Yeah.
So do that. We can't eliminate external stresses of modern life, but we have the science to dictate our internal biochemical response.
Right,
So
exactly.
I really think that that's hitting the nail dead on the head, Dr. Prasad. So if people just jump on that core 5 stress protocol, then they can take control of how their body responds to stress, how we deal with stress on a daily basis. So just get back to the person who invited you to this discussion, and they will be able to help you to put together the package that will work for you. And one last thing before we take a couple of questions. We can't emphasize this enough, folks. Don't expect a pill, potion, or lotion to do for you what you could do for yourself. Get moving. Change your relationship with your couch. There have been studies that have been shown that depression medications with exercise had no more benefits than exercise by itself. A person taking natural products and exercising did more for their bodies and depression and other neurological issues than otherwise. Exercise is extremely
Very important. Yeah, I agree. Totally.
We encourage all of you folks, please get moving, walk. 7,000 steps a day is the new 10,000. It turns out that just doing that alone can extend your life by increase mortality, survival rate, life expectancy by some 70%, as opposed to otherwise. So we strongly, strongly encourage that. So that's a pretty amazing, Dr. Prasad. Pretty amazing that we
That's
have
amazing.
to.
Yeah, I think, that's amazing. The question is how to spread this message,
I know.
number of
I
people.
know.
But
Well, we're working hard at it. We've got folks now that are looking at things even online with YouTube because that's a major medium.
no, I think you will see that growth will occur, and the main people get the benefit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. Now, someone asked a question, Dr. Prasad. You can comment on this. You've commented on this before, so we have an answer to it, but maybe you can share now if you'd like. What's the reason why someone with cancer would want to avoid collagen?
But is why?
Why would they want to avoid collagen peptide if they're fighting active cancer cells?
Yeah,
Cancer.
the reason is because what do you call when you have a cancer, then your immune system will cell some tumor killing cell so that they can reduce the growth of the tumor. When you take collagen, for some reason, it blocks the entry of tumor cell killing immune cell to the site of cancer. So cancer will grow much more rapidly in the absence of immune cell mediated tumor killing cell. So you
Right.
see what I mean? In other words, on a normal condition, if you have a cancer, then immune cells try to send tumor killing lymphocyte to the tumor site, and they will kill some, but not all, and therefore the growth will be slow. But if you take a collagen, this peptide, for some reason, it blocks the entry, migration of tumor-killing lymphocyte to the site of cancer. So the cancer
Okay.
grow fast.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Okay. That makes perfect sense. It's understandable. And so for the benefit of everyone else who's worried and all about cancer, Dr. Prasad has commented on that before. He says that high doses of antioxidants blocks the uptake of glucose and glutamine. So just keep that in mind. So if you're worried about cancer in any way, shape, or form, high doses of microdaily, triple doses 3 times a day, blocks the uptake of glucose and glutamine. So that means then the cancer cells starve. They need that for fuel. So that means that they won't have the nourishment that they need.
Exactly.
Second question, Dr. Prasad. Would you like to comment on what causes autoimmune diseases?
Well, there are many autoimmune disease. I don't know exactly what causes it, but if it is a damage your immune system, for whatever many reasons there could be, and then they develop this autoimmune disease. So it is immune dysfunction.
Right.
And so if you take our core 4, it's worth trying it. It might restore the normal function of immune system, but nobody has tested it.
That's it. That's very
immune system, because nobody knows for sure except that immune function is overactive.
right. That's right. And the immune system is confused in distinguishing the difference between self and not self.
Yeah. And so autoimmune disease, but again, you see immune function disease, if you can restore the immune function, it would be okay.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, very good. Very good. So those are just some of the questions, Dr. Prasad, that have come up. Another question that's come up very often is when I take microdaily, how come I can feel tired, or I get headaches, or sometimes I feel worse? The answer to that question is simple: detox reaction. So microdaily is raising the body's detox capabilities. So as toxins are trying to leave the body, they don't want to go. They're going to be uncomfortable. You've got to make sure you drink plenty of water. Drink water.
Yeah, drink water, and a few days, maybe if you have not taken it, a few days, some people, not everybody, would have that kind of reaction, but overall, it is okay.
Exactly. Okay, and let's see. Have there been other questions? What are the other more common questions that have come up? There's so many questions that pop up, Dr. Prasad. The correct amount to take, the microdaily EMF, the correct amount of microdaily EMF to take is 3 capsules twice a day. That's the normal amount.
Yes,
if you have
in the morning and the evening. Yeah.
If you have a chronic problem, you can double that, temporarily. And if you have the therapeutic doses, if a person is fighting real serious abnormal cells, then that they might want to take triple the doses 3 times a day to raise the antioxidant levels. The probiotic boost and all the other products, they all have marked on the label exactly the correct amounts to take, so you don't have to worry about those things. But basically, just get back with the person who invited you to this discussion, and they will be able to help you to get answers to all the rest of your questions. So, Dr. Prasad, once again, sir, we can't thank you enough for your being willing to join us in discussions like this. We are all better off for the effort, the work that you put in, and the sacrifices you've made to give us your knowledge. So thank you very much, sir. Everyone, unmute yourselves and say goodbye to Dr. Prasad. My team, 615.
Jonathan. Thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you. Appreciate you.